everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs, and my project today is a scalloped box that I used Party Puffins stamp set on, and it opens just like this, and inside are 2 cookies from Little Debbie that are called Star Crunch. They're cookies with caramel and crisp rice. It basically tastes like Rice Krispies, chocolate, and caramel on like a really thin cookie. I'm not sure. The cookie's delicious, but I'm not 100% sure if it's like a graham or just a wafer, but they're pretty delicious. I got this from Walmart for $1.99, and there's 12 of them in there. So if you wanted to make this box, you would get 6 of them out of this. Alrighty. Okay, I also used the scallop die from the Scalloped Contour dies for the bottom, and the In Color, the new In Color 6x6 Designer Series paper in polished pink, along with the open weave ribbon and the jewels. Alrighty, so we're going to start with a piece of Daffodil Delight that is 10.5 inches this way by 7 inches. Okay. Alrighty, I'm going to get my Simply Scored, and we're going to start on the 10.5 inch side, and we're going to score at 1.5, 3, 6, and 7.5. Okay, and then we're going to switch it to the 7 inch side, and we're going to score at 1/2, 2, 5, and 6.5, and I will put these measurements on my blog, which I have linked below. And I'm just going to fold and burnish. I hope everyone had a lovely Mother's Day on Sunday. I did. I got some lovely things from my children and my husband. And we went to a little animal farm. If you're from Long Island, it's in Manorville. And there's a camel, there's some llamas, donkeys, little baby chicks that you can hold, and baby bunnies. Just beautiful, beautiful place. I loved it. Alrighty. Now, what we're going to do is, there is 2 skinny rectangles on 2 of the sides. Okay, we're going to put it so that the skinny rectangles are on the left and right of me, and there's a 3x3 square that we want down here. Up here, there's a 1.5 inch rectangle. We want the square towards us, okay? Alrighty, and this is what we're going to do. Alrighty, so we're going to be getting rid of these 2 rectangles on both sides, and the square and the small rectangle, one above it. So we're going to be cutting 1 to the 2nd score line, okay? This is our flap. That's going to be our flap. So we're going to leave this nice and straight on the edge. So we're going to go to one side of the square, and we're going to cut that up to the 2nd score line too. Okay? And then we're just going to cut that whole section off. We don't need this. Alright, so that's what we did. We just took off all of that. Okay, now we're going to go to the other side of the square and cut that nice and straight all the way up to the 2nd score line again. Okay, turn it to the side and cut off everything that's loose there. Okay, so that's what it looks like right now. Okay, with the skinny rectangle here and here, and the square towards us. Alright, so now let's turn the square with the sides that we cut off to the right. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to treat this middle square like the square we want to tab. Okay, so we're going to keep this one straight. Okay, and then we're going to cut off this little rectangle. And then go to the other side of the square. We're going to keep this piece straight. Cut off the rectangle again on the bottom, and then we're just going to wedge this square here that's next in the middle of these 2. Okay, that's what we did. Now we're going to turn it this way so that the square is on our right-hand side, left-hand side. All right, so we're going to keep this piece straight on the edge. Okay, go to the other side of that square and cut that open. Okay, and then we're going to cut off the skinny rectangles on the edge of the two squares there, right here. Okay, and then we're just going to wedge the middle one. And we'll treat that one as our tab. Okay. And that's it. Alrighty. That's the whole thing that we're cutting. Alright. Now, we're going to put the square towards us again. What we want to do is just put this nicely centered. I put one in the middle with one, just the end of two more coming at the sides of this, and I put the bottom of the scallop about 1/4 inch up on the square. Okay, and then I'm just going to take some tape and I'm just going to place it on there. All right, now to put it through, what we'll have to do is just close all these in, okay, and put it through your 6-inch machine this way. Just be careful that the edges of this die are not sticking off the plate, or else they may crack. Okay, so I'm going to cut this and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I cut that off and I'm just going to gently remove the tape. And then we have our scalloped front flap. Alrighty. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do, with the scallop facing up, you need to round the corners of this piece right here, which is the top, what's left of the skinny rectangle. Okay, there's only two little pieces, one on each side. And the piece that is closest to the scalloped edge, we want to round the corners. Okay, so that's one side. And that's the other side. And there you go. Okay. All right. Now we need our glue, which I'm going to get a new one because my other one is getting low. Okay. Alrighty. The first thing we're going to do is put glue on these tabs here on the outside. So this folds like this. You want to put glue here, and we're going to attach it to the inside of these flaps. Okay. I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on each side. Alright, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to make the bottom of this square tab and make it straight with the bottom of this piece right here. Okay, we don't need that out. Don't worry about the tabs, the skinny rectangles yet. All right, just want to make sure we get this nicely. You can use tear and tape for this, which I probably should have done for on camera because it takes a little while to dry. I have just a little bit of glue leaking out. I'm just going to wipe that. All right, so this is what we have now. Okay, so what we're going to do is just just bend in those skinny rectangles that we rounded the edges of. And what's going to happen is this flap is going to come forward, and the sides are going to attach on the back. Okay? All right, so all we need to do right now is put a little bit of glue on these two squares here, or tear and tape. All right, and we're going to lay this flap on top of these two, and then just make sure that it's straight on the bottom and it almost reaches the back. It has a little bit of room there. Alrighty, I'm just make sure that the flap, this piece is down nicely. All right, and then we're going to take this side and do the same. And I cut this one a little bit short when I was trimming it, so it's okay if it doesn't reach. You just make sure it's straight here and nicely straight in the front. Okay, now you might want to take, just stick a little bit of glue on inside on this piece underneath where it meets here, just so that it doesn't bend down when you're trying to get something in there. So I just usually do it after so that I know exactly what spot I want to do it. A little bit of glue out of there. Alrighty. And that's our whole box done like that. Okay, the actual box part is finished. Okay, so now we need some of our DSP. And there's a bunch. You're going to be left. You need a little bit more than one piece of the 6x6 paper, only if you want to put one on the bottom, because we need 5 and I could only get 4 and the rest of it out of one 6x6 piece. But on one of them, you're stuck with this piece. Save it. We need to do our sentiment that is right there on that. Okay, and I think I'm only going to put one of these in the middle instead of one on each side, because it really doesn't need to be like locked tight. All right, so the DSP, we need one piece that is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and that goes right on the back. Okay, so I'm going to do that while I tell you what we need, and I will list this on my blog too, so you don't have to worry about writing it down now. Alright, and this paper doesn't really have a direction, so we don't have to worry. Whoops, sliding it. Okay. Then we need one piece that is 2 3/4 by 2 1/4, and that's going to go right here on the front, so that I think I cut this a little shorter, so I'm going to say 2 1/8, but it's going to depend on how. I must have taken a little bit more off of here than I thought I did, so I'm just going to cut this down to 2 1/8. But if you do it with the, if you cut it a little bit longer than this, if you back this down a little bit, you'll still need 2 1/4. So that's what I'm going to put on my blog, but you could always trim it down. Okay, so then that's what we're left with, right like that. I'm going to put it on. So if you run into that little problem, just trim it off, that's all. I usually leave 1/8 of an inch all around it. Well, on these 3 sides it will be. Okay. And then we need 5 pieces that are 2 3/4 by 1 1/4, and they're going to go on the inside here, on the bottom, on the 2 sides, and on the top. Alrighty, so I'm just going to do all of that. Okay, so I have that all glued, and now I'm going to take my 2 cookies and they will fit nicely right in here. There's a little extra room, but I needed it because of all of the cellophane on there. I didn't want to make it too tight on the cookie. Alright, so that's how that fits very nicely in there. Okay, so now I'm going to use some glue dots. You could just tie a ribbon around here. Instead of doing this ribbon, you could tie it around the whole thing and pop both of these up. But I'm just going to put one Velcro dot, which I got these at Walmart.com, and they're 3/8. Flip it over. 3/8 circle. guess I should just do this. All right, and I'm going to put it right in the middle scallop. Okay, and then I'm going to take the other side and put it with the adhesive towards me right on top. And then just make sure that everything is nice and straight. And press it down. It's much easier when you press it down if you have the cookies in there or whatever. Just put a little something in there that will keep you from pushing too hard. All right, and then just open it up and give it a nice extra squeeze. All right, and there we go with that. Okay, and for the puffins, we need a piece of Whisper White and some Tuxedo Black ink. And I'm going to make sure this really gets on there. Whoops. And I'm just going to pop it right on my Whisper White. And I got a little on the edges, but we're going to be fussy cutting it, so it doesn't matter. And then the cake, I'll put the cake up there. All right, and then we have this 1/2-inch piece of the DSP that was left over. I'm going to put the happy birthday on there. And if you can't, if you want to do it on a full piece and then just cut it out, that's fine too. But that came out pretty good. All right, so I'm just going to put that on the side for now. And then we're going to color this. All right, so I'm going to start with light and dark pumpkin pie for the puffins beak. And the lighter one, the light, I'm going to put the one closest to the face. And then the dark pumpkin pie, I'm going to do the end of the beak and the feet. Okay. Alrighty. And then we need light and dark. Well, I'll do that after. Okay, then I'm going to use dark Daffodil Delight on the inside, not the polka dots, just the inside of the hat. Okay, and for the polka dots, I'm going to use the light polished pink. And the pom-pom is light polished pink also. Okay, so that's it for the puffin. And now for the cake, I'm going to use light polished pink for the actual cake parts. I'm going to leave the icing white, and we'll put some Wink of Stella on there later. Okay, and also just the bottom, the candles. Okay, I'm going to take my dark Daffodil Delight and I'm going to do the flames. Okay, and I'm going to use light and dark Smokey Slate for the plate. I'm going to use the dark on the underneath, which would have a little bit of a shadow on it. And then the light on the top. Okay, and that's it. It's not really too much coloring. And I already have two that I colored in, cut out that I did earlier, so we don't have to wait for that. All right, now I'm going to pop up the puffin with some dimensionals. And I'm going to use a couple of edges and half dimensionals too, because there's some spots that I just want to have secure, like the feet. I'm going to put half of an edge for the feet and the pom-pom. Okay, and then I'll just use dimensionals everywhere else. I'm just going to use one more edge, maybe two more edges for the beak here. You really probably don't have to be this overdoing it with the dimensionals, but sometimes my daughter takes my things to use She's a speech pathologist, and sometimes she gives little prizes, and I want them to be a little sturdy for the kids. Which I don't have any little ones anymore, so I'm so happy. Okay. I'm just going to put this right here about, yeah. It's okay if his leg is down below a little bit. Right, and then the cake I put on with glue. I'm just going to put that right at the edge of the Designer Series paper. Oops. Now I'm moving them all over. Okay. And then I'm just going to cut the edges of the happy birthday. I'm just going to slant them. Alrighty. And we're going to just put it right inside here, right below the Velcro dot. And of course you could put whatever sentiment in here you want, because it's pretty big. It'll fit, I think, all of them. Yeah, it'll fit all of them. Make a wish to someone who makes others happy. You're the best, and from all of us. You could even put the candles in here if you wanted to. Just put them in there. Alrighty. Just want to make sure there's no extra glue hanging out. And I'm just going to close it. And I'm going to take some of the polished pink open weave ribbon. I'm just going to tie a little bow. Okay, I'm just going to decide which side I like, and then we'll put it right there with a glue dot. And we'll just put it right on the corner. Oops. Okay. All right, and then we're going to get some Wink of Stella, and I'm going to put it on the icing and the flames too. I don't know if you can even see, but it makes the icing look very pretty. And then I'll put some on the party hat. Okay. And for the final touch, I'm going to take some in color jewels. For the final touch, I'm just going to take some in color jewels. And I'm going to put one right up here, one over there, and one on the bottom of the cake, just to the right. Give it a little more sparkle. And that's it. The new catalog is live now. You can order from it. And if you do not have a demonstrator, I would love it if you would order from me. My address is at the top of the screen. And if you are a demonstrator, which I know I have a lot of demonstrators that follow, please subscribe and hit the like button. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you next time. Bye.